Winning the war in your mind isn't just a catchy phrase. It's the key to transforming your life. Every challenge you face, every goal you set, and every dream you hope to achieve starts with the battle inside your head. It's not the outside world that limits you, but the thoughts you allow to take hold. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is often simply the way they manage their mindset. Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can take control of the thoughts that hold you back and replace them with the beliefs that push you forward. You'll learn practical, powerful strategies to take charge of your mind, overcome doubt, and start thinking in a way that leads to success. We're going to dive into how you can turn your mindset into your greatest strength, not your greatest enemy. If you've ever felt like your thoughts were keeping you stuck, or like you're not reaching your full potential, this is the video for you. Together, we'll look at how small shifts in the way you think can unlock a world of possibility and take you to places you've only dreamed of. So stay with me, because what we're about to cover is going to change the way you approach every single day. Number 1, internal battle of the mind. The most important war you will ever fight is the one inside your own mind. It's not out there in the world, not in your circumstances, not in your job or your relationships. It's right here in your thoughts. That's where the real battle is, and let me tell you, if you can win that war, everything else becomes possible. Everything. Now, I know life throws a lot at us. Challenges, disappointments, failures. They come at you fast, don't they? And the first place those battles start to show up is in your thinking. You begin to doubt yourself. You start believing lies that say you're not good enough, not strong enough, that you'll never make it. And if you let those thoughts take root, they will control you. They will steer your life in a direction you don't want to go. That's why I call it a war, because you've got to fight back. You've got to take a stand for your own mind. You see, your mind is like the control tower of your life. Every decision you make, every action you take, starts up here. If your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and negativity, that's what your life will reflect. But if your thoughts are clear, strong, and full of purpose, then your life will follow suit. That's how powerful your mind is, and that's why it's so important to win this battle. The first step in this fight is awareness. You've got to realize that this battle is happening every single day. It's not a one-time thing. Every morning when you wake up, you've got a choice to make. Will you let the world, your fears, or your doubts control your mind, or will you take control? The truth is, if you don't take control of your thoughts, someone or something else will. Maybe it's the negative voices around you. Maybe it's the fear of failure. Maybe it's just the habit of thinking small. But if you're not intentional about it, those thoughts will win. Think about it. How often do we let a single negative thought ruin our entire day? One bad comment, one mistake, and suddenly we're spiraling. It doesn't have to be that way. But to stop it, you've got to start by recognizing when it's happening. Pay attention to your thoughts. What are you telling yourself? Are those thoughts building you up, or are they tearing you down? And let me tell you this, just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. Your mind will lie to you. It will tell you you're not capable, that you're stuck, that things will never get better. But those are just thoughts. They're not facts. And the great news is, you can change them. You can challenge them. You can replace them with something better. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of your mind like a garden. Whatever you plant there is what will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's what you'll harvest. But if you plant seeds of confidence, hope, and belief, you'll get a different result. Now, a garden doesn't take care of itself. You've got to pull the weeds, water the good plants, and keep at it every day. Your mind works the same way. You've got to be intentional about what you let grow there. One of the most powerful tools you have in this battle is choice. You get to choose what you focus on. You get to choose what you believe. You get to choose how you respond to challenges. That's your power. Nobody can take that away from you. But you've got to use it. You've got to practice it, like a muscle. And let me tell you something about winning this battle. It's not about perfection. It's not about never having a negative thought again. That's not realistic. What it's about is progress. It's about catching those negative thoughts faster and turning them around. It's about building the habit of choosing better thoughts, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You might be thinking, Jim, this all sounds great, but it's not easy. And you're right, it's not. But what in life that's truly worth it ever is? Winning this war in your mind is hard work, but it's the most important work you'll ever do, and the rewards, they're incredible. Imagine waking up every day with a clear mind, with confidence in your abilities, and with a sense of purpose that drives you forward. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of this battle. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today, pay attention to your thoughts. Notice when they're steering you in the wrong direction. And when they do, stop. Take a deep breath and choose a better thought. Replace "I can't" with "I can." Replace "I'm not enough" with "I am more than enough." It might feel strange at first, but keep at it. Over time, those new thoughts will become your new reality. This is your life we're talking about. Your potential, your dreams, your future. They all start in your mind. Don't let negative thoughts steal that from you. Fight for it. Fight for it. Fight for yourself. Because you are worth it. You have everything you need to win this battle. All you have to do is decide that today is the day you take control. Now go out there and start winning the war in your mind. Your future self will thank you. Number 2, recognizing the power of thoughts. Your thoughts are the architects of your life. Everything you achieve, everything you become, starts with the way you think. If you want to change your life, you have to start by recognizing the incredible power of your thoughts. They're not just fleeting ideas or random musings. They're the foundation of your actions, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. That's the power you hold every single day. The question is, are you using it wisely? Most people don't realize how much their thoughts shape their reality. It's easy to think that life happens to us, that circumstances dictate where we end up. But let me tell you, that's not the whole story. Life doesn't just happen to you. It responds to you. It responds to your mindset, your attitude, and the way you choose to think. And when you start to recognize that, when you start to understand that your thoughts have the power to either build you up or tear you down, you unlock a whole new level of control over your life. Think about this. Everything you've ever done, everything you've ever accomplished, started with a thought. Before you took your first step, you thought about walking. Before you started that business, got that job, or built that relationship, there was a moment where you believed it was possible. That belief, that thought was the spark that set everything in motion. And if your thoughts can create those kinds of outcomes, imagine what else they can do, if you focus them in the right direction. But here's the thing, not all thoughts are helpful. Some thoughts are like anchors, pulling you down and keeping you stuck. They tell you you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, that it's too late to change. And if you listen to those thoughts, they become your reality. That's why it's so important to pay attention to what's going on in your mind. What are you telling yourself every day? Are your thoughts empowering you, or are they holding you back? This is where the power of awareness comes in. You have to start noticing your thoughts. Not just the loud ones, but the quiet ones. The ones that whisper in the background, shaping the way you see yourself and the world. Maybe you've been carrying around a belief that you're not smart enough or talented enough. Maybe you've been telling yourself that success is for other people, not for you. Those thoughts might feel real, but they're not the truth. They're just patterns you've picked up along the way. And the good news is, you can change them. Changing your thoughts starts with a decision. Starts with deciding that you're not going to let negative thinking run your life anymore. You've got to take control. And that means challenging those thoughts when they show up. When you hear that voice telling you you're not capable, you need to stop and ask, is that really true? Or is it just fear talking? Most of the time, you'll find it's not the truth at all. It's just a habit, a story you've been telling yourself. And once you recognize that, you can choose to tell a different story. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a new opportunity. Maybe it's a job, a project, or a chance to improve your health. What's the first thought that comes to mind? Is it excitement, confidence, or possibility? Or is it fear, doubt, and hesitation? That first thought matters because it sets the tone for everything that comes next. If you let fear take over, you might hold back or convince yourself it's not worth trying. But if you choose confidence, if you choose to believe in your ability to figure it out, you open the door to growth and success. Now, this isn't about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring challenges. Life will test you. That's a given. But the way you think about those challenges makes all the difference. Do you see obstacles as roadblocks or as opportunities to learn and grow? Do you let failures define you, or do you use them as stepping stones to something greater? Your perspective shapes your reality, and it all starts with your thoughts. Here's what I want you to remember. You are not your thoughts. You have thoughts, but you're not defined by them. That means you have the power to change them. You don't have to believe everything you think. You can choose to let go of the thoughts that don't serve you and replace them with ones that do. And when you do that, when you start filling your mind with thoughts of possibility, strength, and determination, your life will begin to reflect those things. This is why it's so important to be intentional about what you feed your mind. Just like your body needs good food to stay healthy, your mind needs good input to stay strong. What are you reading? What are you listening to? Who are you spending time with? These things shape your thoughts, whether you realize it or not. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, it's going to be hard to stay positive. But if you fill your mind with inspiration, encouragement, and wisdom, you'll find it easier to think in ways that empower you. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen your mind. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Start small. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, pause and choose a better thought. When you feel doubt creeping in, remind yourself of a time when you succeeded. Celebrate those small wins because they build momentum. And over time, those small shifts in thinking will lead to big changes in your life. The power of your thoughts is one of the greatest gifts you've been given. Don't take it for granted. Use it to create a life that reflects your highest potential. And remember, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 18 or 80, you can choose today to think differently, to believe in yourself, and to take steps toward the life you want. It all begins in your mind. That's where the power is. That's where the change starts. So take hold of it and don't let go. You've got this. Number 3, identifying negative patterns. Every lasting change in your life begins with identifying the patterns that no longer serve you. You can't fix what you don't see, and you can't move forward if you're being held back by the same unhelpful cycles day after day. Recognizing negative patterns in your thinking and behavior is one of the most powerful things you can do because it gives you the clarity to break free and move toward the life you truly want. The key to unlocking your potential often lies in identifying what's been holding you back. Let me ask you this. How often do you stop and pay attention to the way you think? Most people don't even realize they're stuck in a loop of negative thoughts. These patterns can be so subtle, so ingrained in your daily life, that they feel normal. You wake up in the morning and before your feet even hit the floor, you're already thinking, "I'm so tired," or "I've got too much to do." That negativity becomes the lens through which you see the entire day. And if you're not careful, it can turn into weeks, months, even years of living on autopilot, controlled by thoughts that don't serve you. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay stuck. The moment you begin to notice those patterns, you take the first step toward change. It starts with awareness. You have to become an observer of your own mind, paying attention to the thoughts that pop up when things get tough, or when you're faced with a challenge. Do you immediately think, "I can't do this," or do you think, "I'll figure it out"? That difference in response is everything, because your thoughts influence your actions, and your actions shape your results. Now, identifying negative patterns isn't always easy. It takes courage to look in the mirror and face the truth about the way you think. But let me tell you, it's one of the most freeing things you can do. Think of it as shining a light into a dark room. The room hasn't changed, it's been there all along. But now you can see what's inside. You can see the clutter, the mess, and the things you no longer need. And once you see them, you can start to clear them out. One of the most common negative patterns people fall into is self-doubt. It's that voice in your head that says, "You're not good enough," or "You'll never make it." That voice might have come from a past experience, a failure, or even something someone said to you years ago. But here's the thing, just because you've heard doesn't mean it's true. Self-doubt is like a weed in your mind. If you don't pull it out, it will grow and take over, choking out the positive, empowering thoughts that lead to growth. Another pattern that holds people back is blaming circumstances. I can't succeed because of my past. I can't get ahead because the system is unfair. While it's true that life isn't always easy, and some obstacles are bigger than others, staying in a mindset of blame only keeps you stuck. It shifts the power away from you and gives it to something outside of your control. If you want to break free, you have to take responsibility for your thoughts and your actions. You have to decide that no matter what's happened to you, you have the power to create a better future. Then there's the pattern of perfectionism. It's the belief that if you can't do something perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. Perfectionism is paralyzing. It keeps you from starting, keeps you from trying, and keeps you from growing. The truth is, progress matters far more than perfection. If you're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, you'll be waiting forever. The time to act is now, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect. Because every small step you take adds up to big change over time. So how do you start to identify these patterns in your life? It begins with listening to yourself. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind throughout the day. Write them down if you need to. Look for recurring themes. Are you often criticizing yourself? Are you quick to assume the worst? Do you focus more on problems than solutions? These patterns didn't appear overnight, and they won't disappear overnight either. But awareness is the first step, and it's a step you can take today. Another way to uncover negative patterns is to look at your actions and results. Are there areas in your life where you feel stuck or frustrated? Maybe it's your career, your relationships, or your health. Ask yourself, what thoughts are driving my behavior in this area? For example, if you've been avoiding a goal, it might be because you believe it's too hard, or that you're not capable. Once you identify those underlying thoughts, you can start to challenge them. Challenging negative patterns takes effort, but it's worth it. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I can't, replace it with, what if I can? Every time you hear that voice of doubt, remind yourself of a time when you succeeded despite the odds. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who believe in you, and who remind you of your potential when you forget it. The more you do this, the weaker those negative patterns will become. And over time, you'll replace them with new patterns, ones that empower you, inspire you, and push you to grow. Remember, identifying negative patterns isn't about beating yourself up or feeling ashamed. It's about growth. It's about recognizing the thoughts and behaviors that no longer serve you and deciding to let them go. It's about choosing a better way, one step at a time. And the beautiful thing is, every time you do this, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your life. Number 4, taking control of your thinking. You are stronger than you think. And the moment you take control of your thinking, you take control of your life. That's the truth, plain and simple. You see, life isn't just about the circumstances you face. It's about how you respond to them, and the way you respond is determined by the way you think. Every achievement, every failure, every decision, it all starts in the mind. If you don't take control of your thinking will control you. It's as simple as that. The question is, how do you take control? It's not always easy, is it? Sometimes your mind feels like it's running on autopilot, cycling through doubts, fears, and distractions. But let me tell you something important. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker. You are the one who decides which thoughts to entertain and which ones to let go. That power is yours, and it's a power that can transform your life. The first step to taking control of your thinking is realizing that you have a choice. Many people don't even realize this. They go through life reacting to everything, letting their thoughts run wild like an untamed horse. But the truth is, you can choose your thoughts just like you choose your clothes in the morning. You can decide, today, I'm going to focus on what's good. Today, I'm going to believe in myself. Today, I'm going to look for solutions instead of problems. That decision, that shift in focus, can change everything. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're faced with a challenge, something big, something that feels overwhelming. Your first thought might be, I can't do this. It's too hard. Now, if you let that thought take over, what happens? You hesitate. You procrastinate. You feel defeated before you even start. But what if, instead, you caught that thought and replaced it with, this is tough, but I can handle it. I'll figure it out. Do you see the difference? That one shift in thinking changes your entire approach. Instead of giving up, you start looking for ways to move forward. And that's the key. Progress begins with the way you think. Taking control of your thinking also means being aware of what you allow into your mind. Think of your mind like a garden. If you fill it with weeds, negative thoughts, toxic influences, self-doubt, it's going to be overrun. But if you plant seeds of positivity, hope, and determination, you'll grow something beautiful. That's why it's so important to guard your mind. Pay attention to what you're feeding it. Are you surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, or people who bring you down? Are you filling your mind with inspiration, or with negativity? These choices matter more than you might realize. Here's the thing, controlling your thinking doesn't mean you'll never have a negative thought again. That's not realistic. Negative thoughts will come, but you don't have to let them stay. Think of it like this. Just because a bird flies over your head doesn't mean you have to let it build a nest there. When a negative thought pops up, acknowledge it, then let it go. Replace it with something better. It's a practice, and like any skill, it gets easier with time. One of the most powerful ways to take control of your thinking is to ask better questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of saying, why can't I catch a break? Ask, what's one thing I can do to move forward? The questions you ask yourself shape your perspective, and your perspective shapes your reality. By shifting your focus from problems to possibilities, you open the door to solutions and growth. Now, I know this isn't always easy. Life throws curveballs. Things happen that you can't control. But remember, while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond. And your response begins in your mind. When you take control of your thinking, you take control of your emotions, your actions, and ultimately your outcomes. Here's another thing to consider. Your beliefs play a huge role in your thinking. If you believe you're not good enough, that belief will color everything you do. But here's the truth. You don't have to believe every thought that comes into your mind. You can challenge those beliefs. Ask yourself, is this really true? Or is it just a story I've been telling myself? Most of the time, you'll find that those limiting beliefs are based on fear, not fact. And when you let go of those beliefs, you make room for new ones, beliefs that empower you and push you forward. One of the most effective ways to reinforce positive thinking is through action. When you take even the smallest step toward your goals, you build momentum. That momentum creates confidence, and that confidence strengthens your thinking. It's a cycle, and it starts with action. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect plan. Start where you are, with what you have, and take one step. Each step you take reinforces the belief that you can do this, that you are capable, that you are in control. It's also important to give yourself grace. Taking control of your thinking is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when it feels easy, and there will be days when it feels like a battle. That's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up, that you keep choosing to direct your thoughts in a way that serves you. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and keep moving forward. So let me ask you, what kind of life do you want to create? What kind of person do you want to be? Whatever your answer is, it starts with your thinking. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, and when you learn to use it wisely, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Take control of your thoughts, take control of your life, and watch as everything begins to change for the better. You've got this. Now go out there and make it happen. Number 5, replacing lies with truth. You are not defined by the lies you've believed about yourself, and today is the day you begin replacing them with the truth. Let that sink in for a moment. Think about it. How many times have you allowed a false thought, an untrue story, to dictate how you see yourself and what you believe you can achieve? I'm not good enough. I don't deserve success. I'll never make it. These are lies, plain and simple. And the problem is, if you repeat a lie to yourself long enough, it starts to feel true. But here's the good news. Lies can be replaced. They can be uprooted and replaced with something far more powerful, the truth. The first step to replacing lies with truth is awareness. You've got to recognize the lies you've been living with. Now that can be uncomfortable because it means being honest with yourself. But honesty is where transformation begins. So ask yourself, what are the negative things I keep telling myself? What's holding me back? Maybe it's something someone said to you years ago. Maybe it's a fear you've carried for so long that it feels like a part of you. Whatever it is, bring it to the surface. Name it, because if you can't name it, you can't change it. Once you've identified the lies, you need to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this really true? If you've been telling yourself, I'm not smart enough, where's the proof? Chances are there isn't any. It's just a story you've been holding on to, and it's time to let it go. Replace it with a new story, one rooted in truth. For example, instead of I'm not smart enough, remind yourself, I am capable of learning and growing. Do you see the shift? It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about grounding yourself in what's real and empowering. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man who believed he wasn't good at public speaking. He'd convinced himself of this after a bad experience in school, and for years he avoided every opportunity to speak in front of others. But one day, he decided to challenge that belief. He signed up for a small speaking event, not because he felt confident, but because he was tired of letting fear dictate his life. And you know what? He did it. Was he perfect? No, but he proved to himself that the lie he'd been living with wasn't true. He wasn't a bad speaker, he was just inexperienced, and with practice, he got better and better. That's the power of replacing lies with truth. It opens up possibilities you never thought were available to you. The truth is, you are capable of more than you realize. But to step into that truth, you've got to stop letting lies define you. And one of the most effective ways to do that is through affirmations. Now, I'm not talking about empty, feel-good phrases you say without meaning. I'm talking about intentional, truthful statements that remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. For example, if you've been living with the lie that I'm not worthy, replace it with I am worthy of love, success, and happiness. Say it every day, out loud if you can. It might feel strange at first, but over time, those words will start to sink in. They'll start to feel real. But affirmations alone aren't enough. You've got to back them up with action. If you've replaced the lie, I can't do this, with the truth, I can figure this out, then take a step forward. It doesn't have to be a big step, just something that proves to yourself that the truth you're embracing is real. Action reinforces belief. The more you act in alignment with the truth, the stronger that truth becomes. Another powerful way to replace lies with truth is to surround yourself with people who see the best in you. Let's face it, life is hard enough without being around people who tear you down. Find those who lift you up, who remind you of your potential, who encourage you to see yourself in a positive light. Their words can be a mirror, reflecting back the truth of your worth and your capabilities. And if you don't have those people in your life right now, start seeking them out. Join a group, find a mentor, or even start with motivational content that inspires you. The voices you surround yourself with have a profound impact on how you see yourself. It's also important to recognize that replacing lies with truth is an ongoing process. You're not going to flip a switch and suddenly be free of every negative thought. That's not how it works. But each time you catch a lie and replace it with the truth, you're strengthening a new pattern in your mind. Over time, those patterns become habits, and those habits become your new way of thinking. It's a journey, not a one-time event. And every step you take on that journey brings you closer to the life you deserve. So let me ask you, what lies have you been living with? What truths do you need to embrace? Take a moment to think about it. Write them down if you can. There's power in putting things into words. Once you've done that, start replacing those lies, one by one. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen if you stay committed. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Seek support, stay focused, and keep moving forward. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the lies you've believed about yourself. You are capable, you are worthy, and you are enough. Today is the day you begin replacing lies with truth. And in doing so, you take one of the most important steps toward becoming the person you were meant to be. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. The power is in your hands and the time is now. Believe it, embrace it, and live it. Number 6, building mental discipline. Discipline is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. Let that sink in for a moment. It's not luck, it's not talent, and it's not some magical ability that separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's discipline. Discipline is what turns dreams into plans, plans into actions, and actions into results. Without it, even the best intentions fall apart. But with it, you can achieve things you never thought possible. Today, we're going to talk about building mental discipline. Because if you can master your mind, you can master your life. Let me tell you something. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes or always feeling motivated. It's about making the choice every single day to show up and do the work, no matter how you feel. Think about that. How many times have you let your feelings dictate your actions? I'm too tired. I'm not in the mood. I'll do it tomorrow. Those excuses might feel valid in the moment, but they're the very things that hold you back. Mental discipline is the ability to rise above those excuses. It's the ability to say, I may not feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyway, because my goals are worth it. The first step in building mental discipline is understanding your why. Why do you want to improve? Why do you want to achieve your goals? If your reason isn't clear, it's too easy to give up when things get tough. So take a moment and ask yourself, what am I working toward? What's at stake if I don't follow through? Maybe it's financial freedom. Maybe it's being a better role model for your kids. Maybe it's proving to yourself that you're capable of more. Whatever it is, let that reason drive you. Keep it in the front of your mind every day, because when your why is strong enough, the how becomes easier. Discipline is built through action. You can't just think about being disciplined. You have to practice it. Start small. Pick one habit, one area of your life where you want to be more consistent, and commit to it. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on a project. Maybe it's sticking to a budget. Maybe it's exercising for 15 minutes a day. Whatever it is, start there. The key is consistency. It's not about doing something once in a while. It's about doing it every day, even when you don't feel like it. Over time, those small actions add up. They become habits. And those habits create momentum. One of the biggest challenges to discipline is distraction. We live in a world full of noise, emails, social media, endless notifications. It's so easy to get pulled in 100 different directions and lose sight of what really matters. That's why focus is a critical part of mental discipline. You've got to learn to say no to the things that don't serve your goals. That might mean turning off your phone for a while, setting boundaries with people who drain your energy, or simply getting clear on your priorities. Every time you say no to a distraction, you're saying yes to your future. Here's something else to consider. Discipline isn't just about what you do. It's about how you think. Your thoughts shape your actions. So if you're constantly doubting yourself or focusing on the negative, it's going to be hard to stay disciplined. That's why it's so important to cultivate a positive mindset. Remind yourself of your progress. No matter how small, celebrate your wins. And when you face setbacks, and you will, don't let them derail you. See them as opportunities to learn and grow. Discipline isn't about never failing. It's about getting back up every time you do. Another key to building mental discipline is accountability. It's easy to let yourself off the hook when no one's watching. But when you have someone holding you accountable, you're more likely to follow through. Find a friend, a mentor, or even a community of like-minded people who can support you and keep you on track. Share your goals with them. Let them know what you're working toward and ask them to check in with you. Knowing that someone else is invested in your success can be a powerful motivator. Now let's talk about rewards. Discipline isn't about depriving yourself or making life harder than it needs to be. It's about finding a balance that works for you. When you stay disciplined, reward yourself. It doesn't have to be something big. Maybe it's taking a break to do something you enjoy, or treating yourself to something special after reaching a milestone. Rewards reinforce positive behavior. They remind you that your efforts are worth it and help you stay motivated for the long haul. I want to remind you of something important. Discipline is a skill, not a trait. That means it's something you can develop, no matter where you're starting from. Maybe you've struggled with discipline in the past. That's okay. What matters is what you do now. Every time you make the choice to stay disciplined, you're strengthening that muscle. And just like any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. So don't be discouraged if it feels hard at first. Keep going. The effort you put in today will pay off tomorrow. You have the power to shape your life through your actions, and discipline is the tool that makes it possible. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. So take that first step. Start small, stay consistent, and keep your eyes on the prize. Remember, every time you choose discipline, you're choosing to invest in yourself and your future. And that's a choice you'll never regret. Number 7, feeding the mind with positivity. You become what you feed your mind. Let that sink in for a moment. What you allow into your thoughts shapes the person you are, the life you lead, and the future you create. If you feed your mind with negativity, doubt, and fear, that's exactly what will grow. But if you feed it with positivity, truth, and hope, then you're planting seeds for a life that's rich in possibility and success. The choice is yours every single day. And today I want to talk to you about the power of feeding your mind with positivity. Think about it. How much time do you spend focusing on what's wrong versus what's right? How often do you let the negativity of the world seep into your thoughts, your words, your actions? It's easy to do, isn't it? Turn on the news, scroll through social media, listen to the complaints of those around you. It's almost like negativity is everywhere, waiting to pull you down. But here's the thing. You don't have to accept it. You have the power to decide what you let in. Just like you wouldn't feed your body with junk food all day and expect to feel healthy, you can't feed your mind with toxic thoughts and expect to thrive. Positivity isn't just about being cheerful or optimistic. It's about creating a foundation for growth. When you fill your mind with thoughts that uplift, inspire, and empower you, you're giving yourself the tools to face challenges with resilience and creativity. You're building a mindset that looks for solutions instead of dwelling on problems. And let me tell you, that kind of mindset can change everything. So how do you start feeding your mind with positivity? The first step is to become aware of what you're consuming. Pay attention to the media you watch, the conversations you engage in, and the thoughts you entertain. Are they helping you grow or are they holding you back? If you're constantly surrounding yourself with negativity, it's time to make a change. Start choosing inputs that align with the person you want to become. Read books that inspire you. Listen to podcasts that challenge you to think bigger. Spend time with people who lift you up and encourage you to be your best. Every positive input is like a deposit into your mental bank account. And over time, those deposits add up. It's also important to practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to shift your mindset. When you focus on what you're thankful for, you train your brain to see the good in every situation. And the more you do that, the more good you'll start to notice. Take a moment each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for, whether it's something as simple as a warm cup of coffee or as profound as the love of your family. Write it down, say it out loud, or just think about it, but make it a habit. Gratitude feeds your mind with positivity and reminds you of the abundance in your life. Another key is to be intentional about your self-talk. What do you say to yourself when no one's listening? Are you your biggest cheerleader or your harshest critic? The words you speak to yourself matter. They shape your beliefs, your confidence, and your actions. So start speaking to yourself with kindness and encouragement. Replace "I can't" with "I'm learning." Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I'm doing my best, and I'm getting better every day." It might feel strange at first, but over time, those positive affirmations will become your new reality. And don't forget the power of visualization. When you take the time to picture your goals, your dreams, and the life you want to create, you're feeding your mind with possibility. Close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving your goals. See it, feel it, believe it. Visualization isn't just wishful thinking. It's a way to align your mind with your actions. When you can see yourself succeeding, you're more likely to take the steps needed to make it happen. Of course, life isn't always easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments when positivity feels out of reach. But that's when it's most important to stay committed to feeding your mind with the right things. Remember, positivity isn't about ignoring the tough times. It's about choosing to see the bigger picture and finding the strength to keep going. It's about believing that even in the darkest moments, there's a lesson, a silver lining, or a new opportunity waiting to be discovered. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is another powerful way to nurture your mind. Think about the people in your life. Do they build you up or bring you down? Jim Rohn said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." So choose wisely. Seek out mentors, friends, and communities that inspire you to grow. And if you can't find those people right now, turn to books, videos, and other resources that can guide and encourage you. The right influences can make all the difference. Finally, remember that positivity is a daily practice. It's not something you do once and forget about. It's something you cultivate every day, moment by moment. Some days will be easier than others, but every effort counts. Every time you choose to focus on the good, to look for the lesson, to speak kindly to yourself, you're building a foundation for a better future. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. So here's my challenge to you. Start today. Take one step toward feeding your mind with positivity. Maybe it's reading a chapter of an inspiring book, writing down 3 things you're grateful for, or having a conversation with someone who uplifts you. Whatever it is, make the choice to invest in your mindset. Because when you do, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your life. And that's a change worth making. Number 8, taking action to reinforce belief. You don't just become what you think, you become what you do. Thoughts are powerful, but they're only the first step. Real change, real progress happens when you take action. You can read every book, listen to every podcast, and absorb every motivational speech out there. But until you get up and do something, nothing changes. Taking action isn't just about doing more. It's about doing the right things. The things that align with the beliefs you want to solidify in your mind. That's how you reinforce your belief system. How you win the war in your mind. Think about it. Every time you take action, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. If you act with discipline, you're telling yourself, "I am disciplined." If you act with courage, you're saying, "I am courageous." Every small step you take, every choice you make, strengthens the story you're telling yourself about who you are. And over time, those actions add up. They build a sense of confidence, a belief in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. But here's the catch. Action often comes with resistance. It's easier to stay where you are, to wait for the right moment, to tell yourself that you're not ready yet. Let me tell you something. There is no perfect moment. There is no magical day when all the conditions will align, and you'll feel completely prepared. If you wait for that, you'll be waiting forever. The key is to act anyway, to move forward even when you feel unsure or scared. Because every step forward, no matter how small, builds momentum. Start where you are. Don't get caught up in the trap of thinking you need to have it all figured out before you begin. You don't. You just need to start. Maybe that means having a tough conversation you've been avoiding, signing up for a class to learn a new skill, or simply setting your alarm an hour earlier to work on your goals. Whatever it is, take that first step. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something. The beauty of action is that it creates clarity. When you're stuck in your head, it's easy to overthink, to doubt, to second-guess yourself. But when you take action, even the smallest action, you start to see what's possible. You learn, you adjust, you grow. And with each step, the path becomes clearer. Suddenly, what felt overwhelming starts to feel manageable. What seemed impossible begins to feel within reach. Let me share something with you. Confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you build. And the way you build it is through action. Think about a time in your life when you achieved something you were proud of. Maybe it was finishing a project, learning a new skill, or overcoming a challenge. Did that confidence come before you took action, or after? Chances are it came after. You proved to yourself that you were capable, and that proof became the foundation for your belief in yourself. Action also has a way of silencing the doubts in your mind. When you're busy doing, there's less time to dwell on what if. The mind loves to spin stories, to imagine worst-case scenarios, to come up with reasons why something won't work. But when you're in the midst of taking action, those stories lose their power. You're too focused on the task at hand to entertain them. And the more you act, the more you realize that most of those fears were just that. Fears, not facts. It's important to understand that taking action doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. You will. Mistakes are part of the process, part of the growth. But here's the thing. Mistakes are not failures unless you let them stop you. They're opportunities to learn, to course correct, to get better. Every successful person you admire has made countless mistakes along the way. What sets them apart is that they didn't let those mistakes define them. They kept moving forward. Now let's talk about consistency. One action is a start, but consistent action is what creates transformation. It's not about doing something big once. It's about doing the small, meaningful things, day after day. It's showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. It's putting in the work, even when it's hard. Consistency is what turns habits into strengths, what turns dreams into realities. And here's the truth. The hardest part is often just getting started. Once you've taken that first step, the second step becomes a little easier, and the third even more so. It's like pushing a heavy rock. It takes effort to get it moving. But once it's rolling, it builds momentum. That's why it's so important to focus on just starting. No matter how small the step, don't underestimate the power of celebrating your progress along the way. Every action you take is a victory, a step closer to the person you want to be. Acknowledge that. Celebrate it. Too often we focus only on how far we have to go and forget to appreciate how far we've already come. But when you take the time to recognize your progress, it fuels your motivation to keep going. Remember, you are in control of your actions. You might not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And when you respond with action, with intention, with purpose, you're taking back your power. You're saying, I'm not going to let my circumstances define me. I'm going to define my life through the choices I make. So what's the step you're going to take today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Maybe it's a phone call you've been putting off, a decision you've been avoiding, or a goal you've been procrastinating on. Whatever it is, decide right now that you're going to take action. Because every moment you wait is a moment you could be moving closer to the life you want. Taking action to reinforce belief isn't just about achieving goals. It's about becoming the person who believes in themselves enough to act. It's about proving to yourself over and over again that you are capable, that you are strong, that you are worthy of the life you dream of. And it all starts with that first step. So take it, act now. Your future self will thank you. Number 9, surrounding yourself with the right people. There's a truth that few people truly understand, and it's this. The people you surround yourself with are either building you up or tearing you down. If you're serious about winning the war in your mind, then this truth can't be ignored. Because the people you spend your time with, the voices you listen to, the energy you absorb, all of that plays a huge role in the way you think, the way you act, and the way you live. Think about it for a moment. How often do you find yourself feeling motivated, inspired, and ready to take on the world when you're around people who uplift you? How does your mind feel when you're surrounded by people who believe in you, who encourage you to take action, to push past your doubts, to dream bigger than you ever thought possible? Now contrast that with the times when you've been around people who only bring negativity, criticism, and fear into your life. What does that do to your mindset? Does it lift you up, or does it drag you down? The reality is that the people you surround yourself with are either shaping your mindset in a positive way or holding you back. And if you're going to win the battle inside your mind and make progress in your life, you have to surround yourself with the right people. It's so important to choose carefully who you let into your life, because you're constantly absorbing the energy of those around you. And believe me, you can't afford to waste your time on people who don't believe in your dreams, who don't encourage your growth, and who don't want to see you succeed. I've seen it time and time again. People who want to change, who want to grow, who want to live a better life. But they're surrounded by the wrong people. People who are stuck in negativity, fear, and doubt. And I can tell you this, those people will never push you forward. They'll hold you back. They'll keep you playing small. So what does that mean for you? It means you need to get intentional about the people you allow into your inner circle. Look around you. Who's in your life right now? Who's influencing your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions? Are they helping you grow, or are they keeping you stuck? Let me give you an example. Let's say you're working on building a business, or you're focused on improving your health, or you're working towards a big goal. The people who cheer you on, the people who believe in your potential, the people who offer you constructive advice, those are the people who will push you to greatness. But what about the people who make fun of your dreams? The ones who tell you that you'll never make it, or that it's too hard, or that you should just play it safe. Those people are toxic to your growth. They might not even realize it, but their negativity is slowly eating away at your belief in yourself. Now, I'm not saying you should cut people out of your life completely, but I am saying you need to be mindful of the energy you allow in. You need to protect your mind from the negativity of others. You need to create boundaries with people who bring you down and find the ones who lift you up. One of the greatest gifts I've ever given myself was surrounding myself with people who believe in personal development, people who are always striving to become better, people who encourage each other to reach for more. These people have shaped my mindset, my work ethic, and my belief in what's possible. So ask yourself this, who are the people you're spending the most time with? Are they supporting your growth? Or are they feeding your fears? Are they inspiring you to take action? Or are they keeping you in a state of comfort and complacency? You see, your success isn't just about what you do on your own. It's also about who you choose to bring along with you on your journey. The people in your life should inspire you to be better. They should challenge you to think bigger, work harder, and never settle for less than what you deserve. Let's take this a step further. If you really want to accelerate your growth, surround yourself with people who are further along in their journey than you are. Find mentors. Find people who have achieved the kind of success you want to achieve, and learn from them. They've been where you are, they know the path, and they can teach you lessons that will save you years of struggle. But it's not just about mentorship. It's also about having a community, a group of like-minded individuals who are all working towards something better, who are willing to share their experiences, their knowledge, and their support. That's the kind of energy you need to be around. Remember, success is never a solo journey. You're not meant to walk this path alone. So get around the right people. Find those who believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. Find those who will hold you accountable and push you to be your best. Find those who will celebrate your victories with you and help you up when you fall. And let me tell you something. When you do this, when you surround yourself with the right people, something magical happens. You start to see your own potential in ways you never could before. You start to believe in yourself more. You start to think bigger, dream bigger, and take bigger action. It's not about having the perfect people in your life. It's about having the people who will push you to be better. It's about having the people who will support your dreams, who will cheer for your success, and who will challenge you to be your best self. Now I want you to take a moment and think about your inner circle. Who's there? Who are the voices you hear most often? Are they the voices that help you believe in yourself? Or are they the voices that keep you stuck in doubt and fear. And here's the most important question of all. Are you the kind of person who builds others up? Are you the kind of person who encourages growth, who inspires others to believe in themselves and take action? Because the truth is, if you want the right people around you, you also have to be the right person for others. So let's take action right now. Take inventory of the people around you. Do they support your growth? Do they push you to be better? If not, it's time to make some changes. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. You can find the right people, the right community, and the right mentors to help you get where you want to go. The war in your mind can be won, but it's not just about you. It's about the people who support you along the way. Choose wisely. Choose people who lift you up, who believe in your potential, and who will help you push past your doubts. When you surround yourself with the right people, you'll be amazed at how fast you can grow, how much stronger your belief in yourself will become, and how much easier it will be to win the war in your mind. Number 10, staying consistent in the battle. Consistency is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. And without it, no dream can ever become a reality. You see, it's not the bursts of effort or the short spurts of motivation that get us where we want to go. It's the daily grind. It's the commitment to show up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't showing up as fast as you want. Consistency is the secret that turns effort into achievement, and it's the thing that will carry you through the toughest moments in the battle of your mind. I know we all get excited when we start something new, whether it's a goal, a project, or a personal transformation. We dive in full throttle, motivated by that initial spark of enthusiasm. But here's the reality. Motivation fades. It's normal. What gets us through the hard days, the days when our enthusiasm has waned, is consistency. It's the commitment to stick with it, to keep pushing forward, no matter how slow the progress might seem. Think about a river. It starts with just a small trickle, but over time that consistent flow wears down even the hardest rock. It doesn't do it in one big rush. It's the small, steady flow that over time gets the job done. Your success, your growth, your progress will be exactly the same way. But here's the hard truth. Consistency isn't always glamorous. There will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be days when the distractions seem more appealing, when your comfort zone feels like the best place to stay. And in those moments, your mind will try to talk you out of the discipline it takes to stay consistent. It will tell you things like, it's too hard, or you can skip it today. And those thoughts will try to convince you that one day off won't make a difference. But the truth is, one day off leads to another, and then another until the momentum is lost. So how do you stay consistent when everything in you wants to quit? How do you push through the days when you feel like you're not making any progress? Well, it starts by understanding that progress doesn't always show up in visible ways right away. The work you're doing today may not pay off tomorrow. But trust me, every small step forward is a step in the right direction. And over time, those steps add up. The key is to trust the process, even when you can't see the results. Let me ask you this. What would happen if you showed up every single day, no matter what? What if you gave your best effort, even on the days you didn't feel like it? What if you stayed focused on your goals, even when things got tough? The truth is, after enough days of showing up, you'd be amazed at how much you've grown, how much you've accomplished, and how much closer you are to your dreams. But the magic only happens when you stick with it. Now I get it. Sometimes consistency can feel boring. It can feel like you're stuck in a routine doing the same thing day after day, with no immediate rewards. But let me tell you, consistency isn't about feeling good in the moment. It's about building something that lasts. It's about planting seeds today that will grow into something amazing tomorrow. You might not see the results immediately, but believe me, they're coming. Consistency also requires a shift in mindset. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment to start. It's not about waiting for the right conditions. It's about deciding right now that you are going to show up. You're going to do the work. Whether you feel like it or not, you're going to make progress, even if it's small. And you're going to trust that the results will come, even if they don't appear immediately. You see, the thing about consistency is that it's a habit. It's something you can build over time. And once you've built that habit, it becomes automatic. It's no longer a fight. It's just what you do. You wake up and you do the work. You stay focused on your goals and you keep moving forward. And once you've built that habit, nothing can stop you. Now, I know there are going to be times when you're discouraged. You might look at the results, or lack of them, and feel like giving up. You might feel like you've been working so hard for so long, and the end result is still out of sight. But this is where most people give up. They lose sight of the bigger picture and let their short-term emotions dictate their actions. But if you want to win the war in your mind, you have to keep going even when you don't feel like it. You have to remind yourself that your effort matters, even when you don't see the immediate payoff. One of the most powerful things I've learned in my own journey is that consistency doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require you to do everything right every single day. It just requires you to show up. And if you can do that, if you can commit to staying consistent, even on the tough days, you'll look back one day and realize just how far you've come. Think about the compound effect. When you're consistent, the results start to compound over time. A small effort today leads to a bigger result tomorrow. And when you keep at it, day after day, the progress starts to multiply. It's like putting a penny in a jar. At first it seems like nothing, but over time, those pennies add up to something substantial. Consistency is the same way. The small efforts, when stacked up over time, lead to massive success. Now let me share a little secret with you. Consistency is not about waiting for motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. If you're waiting for motivation to show up before you do the work, you're going to be waiting forever. The real key is discipline. Discipline is what gets you through the tough days. Discipline is what allows you to keep going even when motivation is nowhere to be found. And when you build discipline, you build the foundation for lasting success. So what does consistency look like in your life? What does it look like in your pursuit of your goals? It's waking up early when you don't feel like it. It's putting in the work, even when you're tired. It's showing up for yourself every day, even when the results aren't showing up. It's pushing through the doubts and fears and staying committed to your vision. And here's the thing, once you build that consistency, once you make it a part of who you are, success is inevitable. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the daily commitment to show up and do the work. The results will come, the growth will come, the success will come, but only if you stay consistent. So take a moment right now and ask yourself, how consistent have I been in the pursuit of my goals? How much effort have I put in and day out? And if you're not where you want to be, remember this, consistency is the key to changing everything. Stay focused, keep showing up, and trust that with every step, you're getting closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Consistency is the key to winning the war in your mind. It's what turns your dreams into reality. And if you're willing to stick with it, no matter what, you'll find that success is just a matter of time. Keep going, keep showing up, and watch how everything in your life begins to change.